Hello, students. All right, we are also going to talk about ethics today. So we just got finished talking about scoring and how the professors and teachers who grade your portfolios, called readers, are going to score you using a rubric. We're also going to talk about ethics a little bit today. I got this presentation from Mrs. Fitzsimmons, and she is going to go through some different examples of copyright and using images. Um, if you remember in Art 2, I was really strict about what reference images and what kind of reference material y'all use. I know that since your freshman year, you've been hearing stuff about copyrighted logos, copyrighted characters, and making sure that you have original reference material. So we're going to get into that a little bit more today to look at some examples of what would be considered copyright infringement and what would not be considered copyright infringement. A good rule of thumb is if you have a question about it, just ask. This teacher is a little bit stricter than probably even I would be, but it's always good to err on the side of caution. All right, so when you submit your portfolio, and let me move myself out of the way. All right, so when you submit your portfolio at the end of the year, remember that's not until May, you and I both will be asked to sign an ethics statement verifying that you are the originator of the compositions and the sole creator of the artwork. So that means that I cannot make the artwork for you. Your best friend cannot create the artwork for you. Your significant other cannot work on the artwork for you. Your parents cannot work on the artwork for you. You must be the person who makes all of the art that you use. So there are a couple different sources for what is considered original. I will be sharing with you all the documents from AP about what is considered original artwork and what is considered ethically allowed. So appropriation is something that we talk about a little bit. You can appropriate other things in art. Think about pop art and its use of pop culture references. But you want to make sure that you don't delve into the world of plagiarism, which is unauthorized or authorized use of another person's image or idea without citation. This is not legal, so make sure that if you use someone else's stuff, that you can cite it or that you have that you have permission to use it. Satire is not allowed actually in the AP portfolio, so make sure that you're not doing it. You may do parody, which is using someone else's idea for commentary about the image or idea. Think of political cartoons and things like that. There is an 80% transformation rule. So if you remember last year, I would talk about you can use a reference photo from Google if you change it so much that it's not recognizable. So taking an image from Google and directly rendering it in black and white so it looks almost the same is not 80% transformation. But if you create a collage or a composite of several different reference images, and then you work in a medium that looks very different than the original piece of art that you were looking at, it will probably fit the 80% transformation rule. Once again, if you are keeping up with your reference images, make a folder on your phone and show them to me if you ever have a question. Copyright. I would stay away from copyrighted logos and copyrighted characters. There are very rare exceptions to this rule, but it is just a good idea to stay away from visual images of things that are copyrighted. There are fair use rules. So if you want to use a copyrighted work, you may talk to me about it. Like for example, if you wanted to do a parody piece on, let's say, superheroes, and you wanted to kind of do a piece that is an original composition that involves some of those superhero characters, it might be okay to go in your portfolio, but I would need to see your ideas and compositions before you started on that piece. All right, so No artwork submitted in the portfolio can be a direct copy of another person's image. That is why I encourage you to take your own reference photos when at all possible. Also, make sure you're the one doing your artwork. All right, so make sure that you are not doing copyright violations. Make sure you are not doing satire, even though that is a valid way to express yourself. It's not good for the AP art portfolio. If you are doing something that's really cliche, like you've seen it on Pinterest a million times, and I know I just encourage you to use Pinterest because it is a great source of inspiration, but please don't copy things that are cliche or you've seen a million times. Also, make sure that you are not directly copying a logo or a trademark without doing some sort of parody. That's one of those gray areas where please talk to me before you get involved in a piece that involves parody. Make sure I feel like it follows the copyright laws. Plagiarism is direct copies, authorized or unauthorized. So if you get permission from an artist to copy their work exactly, it still is not okay for the AP portfolio. So make sure that you are using your own stuff and that you are following the 80% transformation rule. All right, so think about it. If you want to do Jim Morrison, that pose right there, it's some other photographer's work. That drawing right there, not acceptable for the AP portfolio. That drawing right there, not good for the AP portfolio. That piece right there, not good for the AP portfolio. This is why I really don't think it's a good idea just to draw celebrities for a concentration. That you took a photo from the internet and you photoshopped it, not good for the AP portfolio. There's another one. That one might be okay. That one's not good enough. All right, so make sure that if you want to do something involving celebrities, that you are original. If you take a reference photo of one of your friends and you just happen to put a celebrity's face on it, that would maybe work. That one painting is almost the 80% transformation rule, but that image has been seen so many times that it's so iconic that someone might flag your portfolio anyway. So I would just stay away from super cliche, well-known images like that. All right, let's say that your friend likes to take pictures of horses. You like one picture so much that you decide to recreate it as a drawing. Use a grid to recreate the photo exactly, and your pastel drawing is technically excellent and it looks just like that photo. You can do this for learning and you can do this for fun, but if you're doing it for your AP portfolio, it is not changed enough. So think about ways that you can get into that 80% transformation rule. Or maybe you can just go to your friend's place where they keep their horses and take your own photographs. All right, what about family portraits? Your mom asked you to use an old family photo of great grandpappy as a World War II Air Force pilot to make a painting for a great grandma's birthday gift. Is this good for your portfolio? No, it's great for learning and great for fun. Might make you a little bit of cash or might make your grandma or whoever really happy, but it is not your voice. And so a drawing like this is not good for the AP portfolio. I have seen plenty of students do work like this and it is wonderful and it shows me that you are skilled, but it is not really something to include in your portfolio, definitely not something to include in your sustained investigation section of your portfolio. All right, another thing that I do not do because you cannot include it in your AP portfolio is a pastiche. So that is when you take another artwork like Van Gogh's Starry Nights, I've seen it a million times, and you copy it as closely as you can to learn about their use of composition, color, brushstroke, whatever it is. This is a great way to learn, like a fantastic way to learn, but it's probably not the best use of your time this semester because you cannot put it in your AP portfolio. All right, same thing with a master drawing. Is this okay? I would say it is okay if you change it 80%. Sorry, I skipped ahead too much. So this one I feel like is okay, but this is where the annotating comes in. So record in your sketchbook which artist inspired you, which piece inspired you, and what ideas you borrowed from them. All right, if you do some kind of imitation of any artist, that is okay, but make sure that you are combining several different things. So the key word here is synthesis, and that is something that is on the scoring rubric. So if you take at least 2 ideas from 2 different people or from 2 very different times in an artist's lifestyle or lifespan, sorry, then you are probably going to hit that synthesis mark. Remember, a lot of times I tell you to use at least 3 references. If you're going to use another reference, that is okay. Also with the horse image, if you had taken 2 or 3 different pictures from your friend and combined them in some way, that probably would include synthesis. Or if you had really just done something other than realistically reproduce the photograph. So is realism, am I saying realism is bad? Not at all. Realism is wonderful and AP loves that. But make sure that if you are using someone else's photo as reference material, that you are doing either synthesis or that 80% transformation. All right, if you take a National Geographic photograph of a child in a storm and recreate it exactly, except you make it a sculpture. Whoops. Then that is going to follow that iffy kind of area. So this is one of those iconic images. Not okay, not okay, not okay, not okay. That's okay. That's close, but not quite a copy. So make sure that it is satire. I'm sorry, that it is not satire, that it is parody. Then you can do it. So this one right here made the papers because this person got sued. All right. Let's say that your friend takes a picture of feet and you like them, so you decide to use them for a drawing. Use a grid to reproduce 4 pairs of feet from 4 different photos. You then combine them with images of food in a painting. That is okay. All right, let's say you use several different internet images of desert plants to create a collage about the environment. That is okay. Let's say you make a Photoshop collage image and you combine a picture you took of your own, like you took of your left hand, a picture of yourself as a child that you found in an old family album with pictures of a baby porcupine and lamb's ears that you appropriated from the internet. That is okay. I probably would also filter that a little bit to make it a little bit stronger. Let's say you draw a model in class and then place the model in a room that is an exact copy of the room Marguerite painted a big rose in. That is probably okay, but that's getting in that iffy area. Let's say you use a character from Assassin's Creed, if you can tell this is a little bit old, in your own 10-frame storyboard drawing. Why can't you make your own character? That's when it gets in that kind of iffy territory, and I would just make your own character, maybe using some of the style elements that you like from Assassin's Creed's art. There we go. All right, let's say you use an appropriated colored photograph and you crop out a portion of the photo, enlarge it, warp the picture plane, warp the images, and create a drawing in white pencil on black paper. That is okay. You have changed your reference materials so much, it's that 80% transformation. Let's say you make an obese version of the Burger King guy, I forgot his name, the king, and comment about how fattening the food is at Burger King restaurants. Is that okay? Yes, because it is parody and it is transformation. All right, so parody is the material appropriated must itself be the object of artistic derision. This is legal. So this one right here is okay. All right, this is one of those pieces that you might know about already. Is this okay? The debate at the time was who owns this? Does Campbell's own it or does Andy Warhol own it? And Andy Warhol won. This is another one where it was a debate in the art world and the artist won. This is Michael Jackson, by the way. All right, who owns this? No one, because it's so old. This one right here, this was another one of those legal disputes where Shepard Fairey originally said that he did not give them permission to use his art as their campaign poster, but then they came back and said, well, we didn't give you permission to use our photographs. So there was kind of a stalemate there. The Chick-fil-A versus Bo Mueller-Moore, you know, whose slogan was this, and he won. All right, so hopefully that helped clear up some questions for you. If I just created more questions, just err on the side of caution and try to stay away from copyright infringement. If there's a question, keep up with your reference materials, like if you borrow an image from the internet, and try to take your own reference photos whenever possible. And once again, I'm here to help you. So if you have a question, please let me know. And also make sure that you're drawing and making your own artwork.